In this video, I will share with you 4 things that I do or I configure on my Cisco routers before I start labbing or I start adding more configurations. So these 4 configuration sets will make your labbing session a little bit smoother and better. So the first thing I always start with after configuring the host name is to work on the console. So if you go to your line console 0, which is the way your emulator, for example, I'm using EVE-NG, you could be using Cisco CML, or even a real physical router. So the intention here is to make your access console not timeout. So I'll start with the executive timeout and I'll set it to 0. If you take a look here, you have all your timeouts in minutes and then 0 seconds. And what this will do will ensure that my session will never time out. Sometimes when you time out, what happens is the CPU will actually go quite high. So in addition to making your labbing session smoother and better in the sense where you don't have to log back in all the time, it will also save you resources and stop that annoying fan on your computer. So I'll set my console access executive timeout to 0. The next thing is the privilege level. I set that to 15. So I'm always, as soon as I log in or connected, I'm always in the executive mode. So sharing how the configuration should look like. Line console 0, executive timeout 00, privilege level 15. The next thing I'll do, which is, it happens quite a lot sometimes. When you're typing, you might mistype. So for example, if I write CCNA by mistake, you can see here that there is a translation that is taking place. And this is actually pretty fast in terms of response, but sometimes I've seen it being locked and every step will take longer and longer, and it can be pretty annoying when you are in a rush trying to configure or trying to debug. So one way to avoid this is to take out the domain lookup. So no IP domain lookup. And if I run that mistyping once more, so you can see here straight away is not doing the translate CCNA and domain server. It just tells you it's a bad IP host name, end of. So this would speed things up for you a little bit. The next thing is actually quite important when you are debugging and you want to have all your logs with the same timestamp. So check your clock. And in my case, is 10:15, but the actual time is 11:15. So it is taking the time from the VMware, which is taking it from the computer. But there is a difference in about 1 hour. The real time here is 11:18. So if you're comfortable with this, it's fine, and it will be consistent across all your routers. But if you want to change that to the real time, so just change, either set up the clock manually, set clock set, and then you can carry on putting the hours, minutes, seconds, and the date and so forth. Or, which I prefer to do, is to clock time zone, and I put my time zone here. Let's see, and then +1. So if I go back again and I do the show clock, now I'm looking at 11:16. So something has gone wrong because it's supposed to be showing 11:17 in here. But in any case, I would expect this to be consistent with the other routers if you are debugging. And as long as you put in the same command, you will end up having the same timestamp. So one thing that I could add here also is to ensure that if we're talking about timestamp on the log, is to ensure that it is consistent and is down to the milliseconds. So when you're looking at events in your log, you really want to go as accurately as possible. So if I configure my service timestamp log and I choose date time, I choose milliseconds because I want it to be that accurate, and I use local time, so it's using the time on the router. And let's check. I should be able to see the time has been changing from when I started the router, which shows midnight, and that's not correct. And then it's 9 o'clock as earlier, and then you can see it's changed to 11 o'clock, what I made the change earlier. And now you can see my logs are getting more accurate. So you have your milliseconds. So these are the few things that I add to my configurations before I start rolling out the configuration. Another tip, sometimes it is annoying when you're running a trace route or a ping and you get stuck when you don't have a valid destination, or the remote host is unreachable and your trace route is just going and going and you wish for it to stop. Of course, you can do the escape control 6 or Z. Another method that is quicker is to actually set the terminal escape. And I normally set a character that I don't use often when I'm configuring. So I choose Z, which means that whenever I want to break the sequence and escape, I will just type in Control Z, which is a lot faster, and I feel it has been a lot more efficient. I hope you have found this session informative and useful. Any questions or comments, please drop them for me in the section below, and thank you for watching.